Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be trying a couple of red wines from local producer Birichino, I think they're pronounced. Um, they're located down in Santa Cruz, their tasting room, and they have different vineyards throughout Santa Cruz County and Monterey. Cool thing about these folks is they do a lot of old wine production. So vines ranging 50 years plus. I think out of these two, there's wines that are or vines that are 100 years old put into the wine. So one of the things that I found just like trying different wines throughout the past several years is that I really notice a difference when wines are produced with older vines, 25 years plus older vines. You get a much better concentration and flavor profile than younger vines. Like you can't even produce a wine from vines that are less than, I think, 4 years old. They just don't produce, or quality wines. They don't produce, top quality wines that are with really new or young vines. And older vines consistently have a better product as you drink it. So I've got a Grenache and a Zinfandel. I'll start with the Grenache. So this is the Birichino 2019 Grenache, and this is Central Coast, which is, they're saying, coming from the Santa Cruz Mountains. Let's see if I can, nope, that's not coming off. So yeah, really excited to try these wines. I've read about them for several years and just not really had a chance to dive into them yet. But like I said, I'm really into old vine wines, and these folks seem like they specialize in that. I don't know if they're a newer wine producer that got got the rights to make wine from these older vineyards, because obviously they've been around for a really long time, or if I just was clueless to these guys in the past. But either way, I'm glad I can try them. All right. So I'll start off with the Grenache. Pretty good color, I think, for Grenache. I'm not expecting, pitch black. I can still see my fingers through the wine. Grenache typically is going to be more a medium-bodied red wine, so I'm not expecting, Cabernet here in terms of power. In fact, a lot of the Grenache that I tried in Spain when I visited there a few years ago was super delicate and aromatic, food friendly. Really sort of opened my eyes up to how good Grenache can be. Have several wines from like different parts of France or even California that were just too over extracted, too fruit bomby, not something that I'd want to drink with alongside food. Nose is still pretty tight, just obviously just popping this. Not getting a lot yet on the nose. Always takes time. Popping and pouring is something that is something that I do, something that most folks do. But one of the things to just keep in mind when you are buying and drinking wines is to keep track of like how they develop over the hours or evening when you open a wine. I mean, they really start to open up when they get oxygen, and give you a lot of the aromatic notes that are desirable. Yeah, just getting kind of like a really dry cherry. Alcohol is kind of coming through, at least initially. Like I said, this is pretty closed right from popping it. But let me give it a taste and keep getting some oxygen into it and see if it opens up. And I've mentioned this in the past, but the reason why I'm moving the wine in my mouth is to push the liquid back to the back of my tongue to kind of pick up how much acidity I'm tasting. The receptors must be in that area of my tongue in the back, and so I'm pushing the liquid back in my mouth to see if I can pick up the how much acidity is in the wine. And so that's one thing I'm always looking for when I taste, because I like to pair with food so much. So I'm getting a decent amount of acidity on this, which is good. First things that I'm noticing about this wine is that it's not over oaked, which is great. Some of the bag Grenache that I've had from California has just been over oaked, and I just can't really get a good sense of what the grape is presenting with so much oak flavor, kind of mass, what the grape and the wine is showing itself. Get more red fruit taste, but kind of like on that, on the fence of like going red, going into darker fruit for Grenache. But still on kind of like the cherry, like a real dry cherry. It's nice. It's got good amount of acidity, which makes me think it'll go well with foods. I think for this, pretty food friendly in the sense that it's more medium bodied, so it's not going to overwhelm anything. So, pork dishes, chicken dishes with stronger sauces, both of those. Even turkey, like if you're doing turkey at Thanksgiving with gravy or kind of a stronger sauce, then I think Grenache, this would be a good pairing. Burgers, sausages on the grill, those kind of things coming off the grill would be really good, really nice. But this is versatile enough to go with a lot of different dishes. I think this would be really nice off, with foods off the grill. The finish on the wine, as I taste, I was trying to pay attention to kind of like how long it was lasting. The tannins are there, acidity's there, kind of the overall finish and how long I'm tasting is another indication of a quality wine. I think this has a pretty decent finish. Definitely, not the longest that I've ever had. I think the price point, if I remember right, was in the 20s on this, both of these wines that I picked up from my local wine shop, K&L. But this wine as 2019 definitely could go for another 3 to 5 years, no problem, with the acidity and the tannin structure, if not longer, and will continue to develop. But yeah, pretty nice wine. Nice start. I'd give this a 91 points. Great wine, definitely a great Grenache from California. So definitely check this out. Yeah, let's move on to Zinfandel. All right. So this is the Birichino 2018 St. George Zinfandel. Old Vine, Central Coast, and this says on the back, St. George Zinfandel, let's see, Pacific Coast range that rings Monterey Bay. So probably Monterey County, could be San Benito or Santa Cruz, those kind of surrounding counties. Just looking to see if they get any more specific there. Fermented with native yeast, neutral barrels, and unfiltered. Okay, so yeah, a couple of good taste, just like indications on what to expect there, in terms of neutral barrel. So using a neutral barrel just means that they're going to use an older barrel that's been used, I think, more than two vintages, and the oak flavor is just going to be less pronounced in the wine, and so you'll get more of a skim milk than a whole milk or cream taste with neutral barrels, and you will have less kind of spices and those oak spices that you get, like baking spices, vanilla, that kind of stuff when you taste. And then the tannins, shouldn't be overpowering either. From the oak barrels can impart a lot of tannins as well. So let's get this opened up. So yeah, really cool to try. There's a lot of Old Vine Zinfandel in California, and so seeking those wines out is something really, really fun to experience. Again, interesting color, definitely not pitch black, which makes me think that they're not blending in, a ton of Petite Syrah, or it's just more of a field blend, which can happen in older vine wines. Not to say that there isn't other grapes in this. I think California is 75% of the varietal listed has to be that varietal. So when it says Zinfandel, it has to be 75% Zinfandel, and then 25% can be whatever. But whatever else, if there is anything else in here, is not going to be super dark and tannic like Petite Syrah or, I don't know, Cab. 13% alcohol. Pretty subdued for California wine. You'll find a lot of, like, the Grenache is 14.5, which is a lot more typical, and Zinfandel is same thing. So the nose, again, not getting a ton. Just, this is what happens when you pop and pour wines. They need time to open up. Almost getting like the smell of the synthetic cork a little bit, which I think will swirl out as I keep moving this and getting more oxygen in. Yeah, it's pretty close on the nose, but I think it'll continue to open up. And let me take a sip here and just see how it's tasting. Wow, really lighter approach. A lot of acidity for a Zinfandel, which is surprising because, not surprising by reading the alcohol content as being, so subdued in 13, but just comparing this to other Zinfandels from California that are just a lot more extracted and ripe fruit. And so when the grapes continue to ripen and they are left on the vines for a longer period of time in the summer and early fall, sugar will go up, acidity will go down. So you get higher alcohol content when that sugar converts to alcohol, and then the acidity, just is not as present. This wine is a lot more acidic than other Zinfandels that I've tried from California, which again makes me think that this would be a lot more versatile for food preparation. The other thing of note, like I mentioned from reading the back, they're using neutral barrels here, oak barrels. So you're not getting the heaviness or kind of the cream weight of the wine. It's more like skim milk in terms of the texture, kind of like how heavy the liquid is and how it feels when you drink it. And you're getting a lot less of that baking spice or vanilla flavors or whatever is coming imparting from the oak, and the tannins are much more subdued because again the oak is not being overpowering here. On the nose, I'm starting to pick up more red fruit again, similar to the Grenache. Yeah, I think both of these wines would be really great with a variety of different foods, and to me, they're kind of screaming out for barbecue foods. Perfect for like backyard picnics, barbecues, yeah, burgers, sausages, pork loins, barbecue chicken. So like even with barbecue sauce on top of chicken or on top of pork chops or pork loin, stuff like that, both of these wines would work really well with those. Yeah, acidity is real strong. I'm getting like roasted strawberry as well, so not like a fresh strawberry, but more on that roasted side. Acidity's great. I guess one thing, like the thing that I'm missing and then I was expecting a little bit more from these wines were that the finish would be longer. So I'm getting great acidity, good tannin structure from the Grenache, but with how old these vines are, I would expect the concentration to be a little bit more, like be able to pick it up more at the wines. And so that's falling a little bit flat, but overall I like the styles of the Zinfandel and the Grenache as food wines. And I think, as these open up, and as you enjoy these, over an evening, they'll continue to be better and better and go really well with food, which is really cool. So, for this wine, it scored a 90 points. I think it's really well made and a great style for food. It's something definitely to check out. Right, so that was tasting through a couple of local wines, Birichino, Grenache, and Zinfandel. Go out and look for these in your wine shop and enjoy these with some barbecue. Cheers.